I'm feeling like a star, you can't stop my shine. I'm loving Cloud City, my head's in the sky. I'm solo, I'm climbing solo, I'm climbing solo, I'm climbing solo. Yeah, I'm feeling good tonight. Finally feeling free and it feels so right.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Golden Dice Podcast, episode number something. I don't even remember. I think we're 56 now. Oh, sorry, 57 is what we're at. But with me, I got our usual sidekicks, Scott and Brian.
Whoa.
How are you guys doing?
Sidekicks.
Yeah, you guys are like, I don't know, my little sidekicks.
I'm the Batman to Jack's Robin.
You're my little
No,
Robins.
the other way. You meant what I know.
Is he already asleep?
Yeah.
All right. You know, let's forget about Brian. Let's forget about me. Let's even forget about Jack, because we have a special guest on tonight. He's the man. He's the myth. He's the legend. He's currently better than Jack and the rest of us, apparently. Tyler Flockington.
You already dropped the curse word. I could already hear that Wilhelm scream.
Scott,
And I got your last name wrong on purpose. You didn't bother to comment on that, though.
Nah, that's okay. You started with an F. You finished with an N.
that's amazing.
Heard it here first.
Flockton
That's the secret
is
to
here.
success.
Dude, I tried to get him on pre-success, but he said he was a little nervous, a little shy.
Well, just
I
one
don't.
guy.
I don't remember this conversation at all.
Yeah, after our
You
first stream.
You do not remember 10 minutes ago.
That's true. There's moments where Flock will black out for about 20 minutes at a time and go, "What?"
Dude, doing dungeons and stuff and quest with Flockton and WoW has been just new experience.
That's great. It's
Right,
different every time. It's
Destiny,
like
I
50
verse
first
him.
dates.
Yeah, Destiny, I verse him. Right, he can forget all the stuff he wants, but it's like WoW, we're teaming up. We're like, all right, we're going here. All right, what are we doing?
Flock,
Where
are
we
you
at?
following us? We left like 10 minutes ago. You guys left?
You got those minor cards, huh?
Yeah, I'm still trying to find those minor cards, dude.
Anyways,
Okay.
on topic, but yeah, so Flockton's been like a behind-the-scenes guy with us, has played a lot, but he moved up to upstate New York, and Alan stole him, and now I think he's living in Alan's basement, but I'm not too sure on those details just yet. But he went to the Rochester Regional, which they had one 2 years ago, lost one last year, and now they got one this year, rebranded Primes.
Regional.
Yeah, they did have a regional
Regional.
last
Now they've
year.
got a
Now they got a Prime.
Prime Regional.
Nice try. Yeah, so Flockton, you drove out there, right? How many did you guys end up? 30, right? Was the
Yeah,
number?
there was like 30. Yep, I think
Nice.
it was even. There was actually one other person. It was supposed to be 31, but the person felt bad that it was gonna be odd, so they dropped.
Nice.
Or they didn't do it. They didn't play. So we had 30 exactly, and then someone dropped after round one because they wanted a Yoda spot clause.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for us, we were actually at 24, and then I think Kyle from ABG lended like one of the T.O. Marshall type guys, because there were a few of them kind of running the event. I think he lended him a deck. He played one round and then dropped, just so we could get to the top 8 instead of top 4 for the cut.
All FFG's current structure is, I mean, it's always been kind of weird, but now it's probably just strictly wrong because it's accommodating for buys that no longer exist.
Oh, because store champs are not a thing?
Yeah, it's, you know, the amount of rounds that you play and the way that it's structured is to accommodate for the fact that you might have like half a dozen people in the first round having buys. That doesn't happen anymore, and they didn't tweak it.
I guess in theory, yeah, they could have changed it for just this season, but in theory, they've still talked about store champs being in their plans, so maybe.
Who knows what their plan is?
Yeah, it's impossible to know. But Flockton, the man, the myth, the legend, almost took it down. He came close. Flockton, tell us about it. What did you run and why?
So I ran Kylo Phasma, the Kylo 2 Phasma 2. So I was originally going to be playing my Django Talzin Crystal Stormtrooper. So I had that built and brought, and Shane, I think it was like Thursday before Saturday, Shane texted me privately. He was like, "Dude, run Kylo Phasma. It beats like 10 of Jack's 13 decks." Like that. And I was like, all right, I'll make it. And I made a list and I put it up and I was like, all right, I'm missing two dice. And he goes, all right, put Dark Council and Crystal Balls in there. And I was like, all right, cool. Literally made it in 10 minutes. So I showed up with both decks. I wrote both out on the sheet, and then when he asked for deck list, I just crossed out my Django deck.
That is a true. That's even more of a Jack move than Jack ever pulls.
I almost wrote both down on.
I actually
I
wrote
don't
both
know.
down.
Jack, they were literally calling for deck lists, and Jack, with a panic face, turned back and he's like, "What do I do?"
Like it's
How early did you
hilarious
show
to
up?
me.
We got there an hour, 15 minutes early, and we're just reading the entire time. And they're calling for deck lists. I put mine in. I was like, "Yeah, whatever, it's fine." And Jack was like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do. What do I do? I have both. I'm gonna put both, and I'm gonna give him one." And I was like, "Dude, just run mill." And he's like, "All right, I'll run mill."
So what is so hilarious about this to me is back when Tommy and I used to play like other games together before, like, years ago, like 10 years ago,
Rest in peace,
8
Tommy.
years ago. Yeah. Rest in peace, Tommy. When we used to play games together, Tommy, as he always is, like Tommy will be he will be on something, tweaking it in perpetuity until like he's playing it at events. That's just how he works. He has like a sensible approach to the way that he decides what he's going to play. Whereas I would go to like Gen Con and whatnot for the Star Wars LCG and be like, "Hey Tommy, what should I play?" As we're walking up to the event. I just have all my cards in my backpack. I'm like, I'll just make something as we're sitting down. You guys take it to even more of an extreme than I used to.
Yeah.
To the point that I'm now Tommy getting like the sweats over you guys.
I'm glad
I
can
try
make you
not to
sweat,
look at
Scott.
the group chat
I try not-
prior to you guys going to play to an event because I know it's just going to be, well, what should I do?
It's a dumpster. Oh no, literally, I was like, all right, I've locked into a deck for Worlds as of like, I don't know, a day or two ago. Actually, maybe it was like Sunday. But Jack, like, it was like 10:30 last night, and Jack posted another deck, and I looked at it, and I was like, please stop. Stop sending stuff, because, like, I can't. There's like 19 different decks floating around in my mind, and I can't pick one. It's just too hard.
You know what? I would be better if, my team answered me and was like, you know what, Jack? Your first idea is good. Go with it. Instead, you guys are just like, I don't know, you suck. Okay.
I mean,
Now he
Is
just
that a wrong answer?
do you want us to lie to you?
Well, now Jack just kind of goes right to me and goes, "What do you think? I'm gonna do this," and I'm like, "Wow,
Brian's the
you
only
are
one that answers
truly desperate to come to me for help." like Loki in a cell. You are truly desperate. Like Tommy's off like raising kids, Scott's doing Scott things, and then there's me, and I'm like, I guess I'm all that's left, huh?
The lone survivor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I was fine with my choice. I'm glad that I know that Mill isn't my...
Playing
it knowing
I would
that-
be too, Chief.
Well, I mean, less so about making top 8. I think more so just knowing that Mill's not an option. Like, I ruled it out of my mind because of how it played on Saturday. There's no way I go to Worlds and play 8 rounds of that. Dude, I was dead after 4. And it wasn't even, like, that oppressive to play against. It was just, like, a total grind.
It was just oppressive to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a consideration that you sometimes have to give to decks, especially when you're going to like bigger events. Like, can I play this for 8 rounds in a row? And then thinking about a top cut, how many games you might have to play in a row to, reach your ultimate goal.
I never think about top cut.
Oh yeah.
And I almost got timed out in Top Cut, so that was another relevant thing. It's like, even if I can get through the 8 rounds, it's just like, okay, this Lore Santec is super slow, so just not like an overall option for that. But
You've went from never going to time to now that being your constant worry.
yeah, I started playing these super slow decks. Palpatine and then Lore Santeca. It's all right. There's pretty much on droids. Just need to figure out which variant, and I don't think any of them will ever go to time.
That's
So,
true.
Probably
there
not.
you go.
If they
Most of my
do,
games are over in like 20
You got
seconds.
some problems.
Yeah. Well, maybe the Satine version could go into a grind.
That's true. Yeah, she has the potential to go a little longer with all the sports and such.
Yeah. All right, but Flockton, you brought 2 decks. You went with Kylo Phasma. Walk us through your day. What did you play against? What did you beat? And what was your final record in Swiss?
So my final record was, I think it was 4-2. My first round, I was excited because I was playing a mono red deck, but it was Commander Cody with 3 clones. A lot of health to chew through. So I ended up losing the first round to a mono red, and that started off my day pretty bad. Because I was like expecting or hoping mono, and I got it, and I lost. and then I faced a Vader, First Order Stormtrooper. Was able to just get the activations off Kylo and roll damage. And that deck doesn't really have great mitigation, so I was able to just knock off Vader, I think, early turn 3 with Tac Mastery. And then I ended up actually facing, was it 4 mono decks with Palpatto. So 5 mono decks basically, because Palpatto's mostly all blue.
Yeah.
So yeah, the next one was Dengar Django. And then I faced Palpatto, and then Qui-Gon Ayla, and then Yoda Ray. Yoda Ray 3. So yeah, a lot of mono decks. So I saw exactly what I wanted to see basically in Swiss.
Which Yoda was that? The new one?
Yeah, no, Yoda 1. Yoda 1
Okay.
Ray 3.
Huh.
Yeah, I forget what the plot was, but I think it was lightsaber mastery. But I don't think he used the lightsaber mastery at all.
Lightsaber mastery. So hot right now.
Spicy.
Super.
Almost as hot as Forlon.
You hear that, Chip?
So, sorry, Fly.
Yeah,
What were your 2
Chev.
losses?
Fucking Chev.
Your
My name is
sorry,
Chev.
my losses. My losses was to
The clone trooper.
Cody with 3 clones and Palpatto.
and Papa. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you go into your 4-2. What did you finish over on Swiss? Was it 5th? 6th?
7th.
7th, right?
Oh, 7th. Okay.
7th. Yeah.
What did Chip finish? Was he 8th?
Yes, he was 8th.
He was 8th.
Chip finished
Nice.
8th.
All right. Then what'd you play in your top 8 match?
So the first round, I was kind of upset because it was Afra, Afra, General Grievous Messenger. I was just nervous about the mono, or not the mono, the
Anti-mono.
3 different colors. Yeah, the three different colors. Luckily, we got to see deck lists. Yeah, rainbow. That's the word. We got to see deck lists, so I quickly looked at the list. I really didn't look at the cards. I was mostly just looking at, okay, let me count how many yellows, blues, and reds. He ended up having like 5 grays, equal amount of reds and yellows, and like I think 4 blues. So I just called red yellow the entire time, and every time I activated Kylo, I was just like looking at the discard pile, seeing how many yellows or reds, and just called whatever I can get. I got it a few times, so that was good. Was able to kill Afra with Elite Afra. It makes it an easy target, or not an easy target, but really want to kill Afra. So that was pretty helpful. That I could just kill Afra off pretty quickly, stop the drawing of the cards. And he had a Deja Vu was his big play. So he had Deja Vu. He was trying to get like Act of Cruelty off twice. Trying to get he would do like Forsaken twice. So that was pretty annoying sometimes. But since I knew it after the first game, I kind of tried to play around that Deja Vu with all the mitigations.
Look at that. Was that 2-1? Did you win 2-1? Or 2-0?
Yeah, so I won the first one, lost the second one, and then won the third one.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was the battlefield situation on that? Do you remember? Did you win both times you had yours, or?
I think I won the roll-off the first time, and I took shields because I think his battlefield was Steed anyway, too, and I figured I'd be quicker anyway, so after the first round, I got it anyway. And then we just, since he lost, he took my battlefield, and then since I lost that one, I took his battlefield.
Gotcha. 2 extra health mattered.
Yep, it did. Definitely did.
And then top 4, was it Palpatto?
Yep, Palpatto, the same one I played in Swiss. Actually, ironically, so the first round was someone from our local, Thomas, and then the next round I played someone else from our local, and it was with Palpatto, Nikki. So yeah, that was kind of upsetting.
So you're the best player in New York.
You play him every week, and then you're just like, all right, now you got to face him in Top Cut. So that was kind of
It's better than
bummer.
what Brian and I had. We
Yeah,
sat
first
down
round.
in round 1.
that's even worse.
We'll get there.
Go ahead for your Palp matchup, though.
Yeah, the Palpatto matchup. I was kind of upset because when I played him in Swiss, I was able to get Separate Embargo, and I just called Force Storm. I feel like that's the best play, really. I can kind of play around Bacta and Fatal Blow because I do have 2 counterintelligence and 2 probes. So I wasn't really too worried about those events. So I was trying to get Separate Embargo for Force Storm. It didn't help me in the Swiss, but it helped me round 1 because I think I got Separate Embargo turn 1 down for Force Storm, and he had both in his hand.
Oh, nice.
So he ended up pitching them, and then later on later on that round I also probed, or second round I think it was. Yeah, I probed 1 Fatal Blow after round 1. He discarded a Fatal Blow, so I got both Fatal Blows and both Force Storms turned by round 2. So I was able to win the first game basically on that because he didn't have much damage, and I was able to just push out. Even with, I think he backed it twice, and I still was able to get through it. Just call him blue. Call blue. Second round, I did not get Separate Embargo early enough. He was able to get 2 Force Storms down. I Separate Embargo for back to after that, but still, just he had 2 Force Storms. Couldn't get through it all that much. So I lost the second round on that one. Third round, I was able to take his battlefield, so I got the extra shields. He didn't. Basically played Kylo's Saber, did a damage, activated Kylo, got the activation. Palp was already down to 3 damage, like in 2 actions. And then I rolled out pretty good damage. I think I was able to get turn on Phasma special after round 1. I didn't see Separate Embargo, but I did see Stifle, so I played that early. And later on, when I rolled out Kylo with like I think Crossguard and Heirloom and showed like 8 damage, 7 or 8 damage. And he tried to do Bacta, and I stifled it, and then I was able to win that round. So that was close. I was scared of the matchup because I lost 2 in Swiss.
Yeah.
But I guess best of 3 was a little bit easier because it was just, a lot of blues in that deck.
And then how'd your top cut go? The finals?
Yeah, finals. At first I was excited because we were playing in the top 4 match. They were both Raylos at the other table. So I was like, oh, sweet. So if I win, like, it's mono deck. But it's not as easy as you think. So the Raylo player, I forget his name, but he's from Canada. He's one of the good. I think he won like their nationals or something like that in Canada. Good player. He basically used Ray's power action just to blank any die I had that was good because both my characters are villain. He saw Neiman round 1 both games, so he would play that, blank one of my dice. I was able to kill Kylo like early round 2 every single time, but like just he was able to just keep me off so much damage and was able to just rack up Ray with a bunch of shields, and I lost both games. Like 1-2, done. I think both games were done in like 30 minutes. We finished really quickly.
Did you call blue?
No, I called red actually.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Raylo's
could've
such a tough deck.
It's tough, even for the thing. I mean, I think I won the roll off, and I took his battlefield and everything, and then I was first action just activate. Or no, he won, and then I just activated Kylo to take off the shields because I didn't want to do his power action. So I was doing that. I was doing everything to just keep shields off Kylo, but I don't think that really makes a huge difference. And he did the nice play with like pacify Kylo's die, and then use Kylo's special to take the shield off, re-roll it. So that was kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's a tough deck. I mean, regardless, but like super good run. I mean, I would be thrilled, especially after the weekend I had in Tamaqua.
Tamaqua?
Horrible. Tamaqua?
Tamaqua?
Tamaqua.
But yeah, Flock, that's awesome. Coming second. Even with like the numbers down across the board for primes, finishing second is big, especially with a deck that I feel like was dismissed a little bit, but was obviously a good call because you played how many mono decks you played? 4?
I played 4, yeah, and then I guess you can call Palpwado another mono deck basically.
Yeah, because they're sitting at like 25 cards of blue.
Yeah, exactly. So
2 Bactas, 2 Barterings, 2 Desperates, I guess, so maybe 24. That's maybe what they're doing.
I think the one I was playing was had a Formidable.
Formidable, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's really good. Formidable play with that special, moving over upgrades is really good.
Yeah, and it counts towards his health because his ability. And it's got like shield sides, it's got 2 melee, so it's certainly interesting. I don't think I own one actually, so.
You don't own one?
No. It's funny because I'm a collector, but some of them
I got
just
a bunch
passed
of them.
on.
We kept on. We did a lot of drafting with that set, and it's an amazing card in draft.
Yeah.
It's just amazing in general.
I have a few. I mean,
I think it's
found
purpose.
one use.
Yeah, it did find one use. Well, it was really good because we were practicing the week prior, and Nikki was playing Palpwado, and he had Formidable, and like I activated all my characters, and he just said like he did Formidable, move one of my weapons over to my guy dying, and it also takes the die out of the pool and puts it on the card. So
yeah.
I didn't know that. I was like, oh, you do that? Oh, snap! That's much stronger than I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it found that spot, right? I mean, even if the
Yep.
card's good in one spot, it's fine enough.
Which is great. Like if you're a card and you have a deck that you work in, you're good.
I feel like we're giving a pep talk to crappy legendaries right now.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah, it's like, hey, if you just
Do
gotta
Holdo
find that,
next.
you just gotta find that one.
She hasn't gotten there yet. She doesn't know.
No, I mean, Holdo's problem right now is that there's not enough vehicles that you want to be playing with her ability. So hopefully next set, which has to have a lot of vehicles in it,
If
will help her out. I mean, if the next set doesn't have a lot of vehicles and introduces a piloting subtype,
Yeah.
that would be.
Hey guys, remember when they
Amazing.
announced the Bones kit? That's funny, right?
Has that come out? Does
No.
that
They
actually
had
exist?
the issue with the material and what was made with the mat ended up being like banned in like basically you could make it in Europe, but you couldn't bring it into the U.S. Or something along those lines. So they had to literally remake all the mats. There's been rumors and it's been popping up at a few stores. So,
Which is kind of funny because typically speaking, Europe has more strict.
Maybe it could have been reversed. Whatever it
Yeah,
was, there
I
was
thought
an
it was
issue.
Europe didn't allow the plastic, so they couldn't do it.
Maybe.
Special plastic.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
it was their manufacturer.
I mean,
that
I
was.
have no idea, but just going off of generally speaking, they have stricter requirements than we do.
Yeah, whatever it was, there was an issue with the material made in the mats, and they had to remake them all with different materials.
Big true.
So that's what delayed the Bones kit. But man, dude, when they announced that, I was so excited. I love the art on that and stuff. And like the new Raylo stuff looked really fantastic in person as well. Like the Spock Lost cards and even just like the basic promos for Top 64 or whatever was real nice.
I wouldn't know.
When did the Bones get announced? It feels like it's almost been a year. It was
It
like March,
it
right?
never,
It was like
no,
March.
never got announced.
February, March.
It got leaked.
Oh, it got leaked?
Yeah, the basically like the
No.
the
No,
document.
are you sure?
Yeah,
No, because they had a thing that said
No, FFG
No.
never officially announced the Bones kit. I'm telling you. Like the
I'm gonna
thing
do
got
some
leaked.
research. You talk.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you'll be able to find the document, but that was never published by FFG.
Oh, wow.
It was never put
I
out
mean,
there.
maybe
by
that's how it can't be delayed if they've never announced it.
no, that's hey, big brain, big brain.
Big true.
Big true. All right, yeah. So Flockton, well done. That's awesome. Coming second. Glad to know that the whippings in my basement, got put to good use. Proud of you.
It did.
I'm not giving Alan any credit or New York any credit. All South Jersey. But yeah, that's awesome. Shane again helping give Dexter another good finish as he helped Eldis at PAX Unplugged with Jing Cass. So he's behind the scenes pulling strings, but there's some questions about that in our Patreon questions. We'll get to a little later. But so I talked a little bit about Tamaqua on Discard to Reroll. So if you're interested in my journey, you could definitely check that out. I ended up bringing Elite.
Who listens to that though?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. The
I
whole
never
intro's
listen to Discard
dumb.
Reroll.
Never listen.
And I don't hate Mill. I love Mill.
I love.
I don't want to kill Mill. I love Mill.
But yeah, so I brought Elite Laura Santeca, Elite 3PO, Anakin, Mill. It should have espionage, but I didn't bring it. So
You forgot cards.
The downfall of, audibling.
Last minute swerve.
Yeah, I didn't even realize till round 3. Somebody was like, oh, what are the points on that? I was like, 11, 11, 7, 29. 29? Wait a minute.
So, hey, by the way, I found, not to cut you off, I found the FFG art.
Cut him the.
I'm going to cut you off. The FFG article, not article, you were right. So it's a poster, it's a advertisement, I think, for retailers to have this kit and buy the kit. So it's a Star Wars Destiny Seasonal Premium Kit, 2019 Season 2. Price $15. Expected arrival, June 2019, right? The use was through August 2019. So I think they've... it's on the boat.
Amazing.
It's on the boat. It's for next August. It's for next June.
It's been expired for 2 months.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we saw Season 3 pop up already, right? So, I mean, it's
Yeah.
obviously delayed, so... The Season 3 kit looks pretty dope. I don't know if anybody saw those.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, we have to just take every kit with a grain of salt until it's actually physically in our hands.
Well, yeah, the only one that popped up for Season 3 was at, like, FFG's center. It was funny because somebody...
Yeah.
Like, the post was,
Like,
hey, what
when
happened
did this
to...
come out?
Yeah, it wasn't even about that. It was like, hey, where's Bones? and somebody was like, "Wait, this kit?" and then posted that, and we're like, "Wait a minute, what?" Like that's not even what we asked about, but what is this? But that one was pretty sweet because it was Outpace was the random garbage yellow event. Then there was Separatist Embargo, Admiral, Neiman Mastery, Pulse Cannon, and 3 lessons. So
Yeah, Neiman Mastery is obviously like the big one because that's one of those cards that you're like, I need it in a few decks, but I would prefer not to swap the card around. The dice are easier to move.
yeah,
Right. I still need a second one.
yeah. So it helps, and if you're playing something like Palp, where you're only running, something like that, or one blue character, you can afford to just have one die. Although I guess people could technically be annoying about that, but
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't do it. I would do it in a tournament. I would make sure that I borrowed
a second die. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So that was Tamaqua. I finished 4-2 and then got 0-2'd by Jabba. Brian, I don't know if you want to just give a second summary of your day.
All right. So let me just All right. So we drive like 2 hours and some change. 7:30 in the morning. I'm not an early riser. So I'm like, I'm getting there, but I'm not quite there yet. We put on some middle school dance playlist on Spotify. I was getting pumped. I was hype.
Don't say you.
I tested.
Don't say me. You did that.
Why are you hanging out
I
with middle
definitely did.
schoolers?
It's from my middle school years, bruh. Some good music. Anyway, I got pumped up. I got hyped up, right? I bring Chopper, right? Chopper Faithful just takes a dookie right all over Raylo like the day before. And I'm like, wow, I've been stomped by Raylo for every deck that I've tested this week.
Yeah, it is actually like the amount of trauma that deck has inflicted upon you.
I hate it.
Raylo?
I hate it almost
Yeah.
as much as Ewoks. But we'll get to that in a second. Jack's probably chuckling at me from the shadows where he lurks. So anyway, Jack is like panicking, right? So he's like, they're calling for deck lists. It's like 10:55. He's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, run Mill. Just don't face me round one. That's all you got to do because Chopper's great against Mill. So naturally, the pairings go out, and the fates smile from the heavens as Jack and I get paired up round one as per usual. So I sit down and I'm like, sorry, pal, that's rough luck. I hate playing you, especially at events like this. So I sit down from this right, pulls out like Yaneti Forestry and like random garbage, and I'm like, what? This is not what we had discussed. First of all, I was trying to play around it as best I could. So like, the game went pretty well. I thought it personally that it was a good game. I would agree. Wouldn't you agree, Jack? I thought it was a good game. I was rolling off like 2
you got
games.
hit
It
by
was very
things that
close.
weren't expected that let me pull off no answer twice, which was what won the
Right.
Like Unity Forestry, you claimed you're like, all right, all your draw stuff is done. You didn't play Lore Hunter. Your bartering die is resolved. There's nothing you can do to make me draw a card. So you claim.
This dude pulls out a Unity Forestry.
Like off Unity Forestry.
When they clarify Unity Forestry, I was like, oh, haha, card that no one runs. And then, of course, Jack's like, yeah, Unity Forestry.
Dude, I had to go. So in my binder, I have 2 ofs of everything, right? Of all the uncommons. And I go through and I only have 1 of. And I was like, I definitely remember throwing this garbage card into like a giant box full of cards. So the night before, I was like, looking through this giant box full of just all these commons and extra uncommons. So I was like, I know one's in here. I know this garbage card exists somewhere in here.
I hate Unity Forestry. I'm adding that into the list of cards that give me trauma. Unity Forestry.
It's
So that was
pretty
round
close to
one.
all of the above.
Everything gives me trauma. I'm very easily spooked. Spooktober. Yeah, Spooktober. Spooky Dookie. So anywho, that's a fun fact. Any poo you take this month is a spooky dookie. So round 2 rolls around, right? I'm at the table with they had 2 tables, right? And then the streaming table, obviously. So there's a table that was full, and then there is a table that was literally the bottom table that it was just 2 people, and then a long like banquet hall. Like think of Hogwarts in the Great Hall. That's it. That length of table, but there was just 2 people sitting playing Destiny at it.
Yeah, so they had a
It was
row of
super
like
sad.
tables like 2 through like 10 or 12 or whatever
Yeah,
it was.
like 2
and
through
then
11, and then 12 was at the end of the table.
was at a new
table.
row, by itself.
Yep. So that one was, I think, and typically I write my matches down as they go, but I I had a really poor day, and I just didn't feel like writing it because there's no reason I'm writing an article for this, so whatever. So I'm pretty sure that this was the Snoke Mud Trooper Phasma with Buku supports all over the place. That I was kind of like, all right, I'll just pump damage, and like I sniped Snoke round 1 of turn 2, and I was like, all right, so I've got a lot on Snoke. Snoke's gone. I've got a lot on Phasma. Phasma's like halfway there. But by that time, I looked up and I just wasn't paying attention. And he dropped like 2 Mega Blasters, an Imperial Officer, Conscript Squad, and there was just like 12 dice on the table that I couldn't do anything about because Chopper doesn't run a whole lot of mitigation, and if anything, it's like single die. Maybe a few, like it's not a whole lot, right? So 12 was really difficult. So I was using Salt Flats to like blank stuff, and I was using whatever little mitigation I had, and I was doing the best I could, shielding up and whatever have you. But it was just too much to handle, and by the time I got into the Mud Trooper, like I had like 2 health left on me, and it was nothing I could do. So that was a loss. Round 3, I stayed at the Hogwarts Great Hall banquet table. All by myself, and a new opponent, a new challenger had arrived and sat down with me, and he pulled out the funniest deck that I'd seen in a while. It was Yoda 1, Yoda 1, Youngling, and Chief Chirpa. So I was like, oh, all right, this is fine. So we played it, and you can imagine how that one went. Like, Youngling sniped in the first like action, Ewok sniped in like the second action, and then Chirpa kind of went down, and then Yoda was left with like it was like an Emphas Nest Electro Ripper, so that game was over. So that was I'm 1-2 at this point, and then I moved over to I want to say it was Ewoks, and I lost. It was pretty close. I think it was like I had a total of like 5 health left across the board, and I was like, okay, I can handle this. I've got R2 and 3PO are still alive, and then he's got like a Hoth Trooper at 1, and I think Chirpa at 1. But then he like ammo reserves, Chirpa special, and then inflict pain twice. And I was like, oh, cool. So I think he like it was a 1 damage difference of the game that he had and I didn't. So that was a bummer. So I lost that one, and then I moved over to was it Handlebar, right? From discard to reroll.
Did he have a mustache?
He had a mustache.
That was Handlebar.
So Handlebar.
Or was it a handlebar mustache?
It was.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah, it was.
A little weird otherwise.
He's aptly named. He was playing a deck that I'm very familiar with. He was playing Palpatto. So I was like, oh, this is familiar. And, as you usually do, you sit down across from someone at the bottom tables and you're like, man, I haven't done X, Y, and Z today. Typically that match, you're going to find X, Y, and Z all in that match. And that's kind of what happened. I smacked Palp for like 9 damage turn 1. And he was like, okay, I'll put like a bartering down and a force jump. I was like, cool. And then I kind of smacked him again turn 2 and it was all over. So that was a really quick one. That was like a 5-minute match, and I felt horrible because that happened to me at Nova, and it just feels terrible. Like that's the problem with bringing Palp, because it's just kind of unpredictable. Like you can get smacked real hard turn 1 and then you're set back the entire time. And then the last match was Raylo. And that was also like all of my matches were extremely close, and now looking back on them, I can say that they were like within 2-3 damage every time I lost. The Raylo is no exception. He got off like a bunch of crazy crap, and I just couldn't do anything much about it. I also didn't find like upgrades or mods all day, which was super frustrating. Like I'm still okay with how I played. Like I played fine. I just wasn't my day. And, like a phoenix, I'll be reborn from the ashes and do better at Worlds next week.
It's going to win Worlds.
Yep. I'm calling it right now. I'm coming for you, loopers, ABGers, anyone that isn't me.
That's a broad spectrum of people.
Anyone that's better than me, so 499 of you.
Man, I thought you were just going to give like a quick short, it sucked, this happened, and then you went
Yeah,
to
that
a
was
whole...
the most in-depth that you usually get
Brian, what do you think? Yeah, it's fine. Good.
Well, I just felt like this was this one hit me hard personally. I like you. I have never been more angry at this game than on Saturday. But like honestly, it's fine. Like I learned.
I have to dispute that.
At a tournament that was important.
All right, that maybe, but I'm just
What are you
saying in
thinking of,
general,
Scott?
not even having seen you this Saturday, I would feel very comfortable asserting that was not the saltiest you've been.
I can name about 17 different events, but which one are you specifically referring to?
I'm just talking about like life in general, like after a streaming night, and you're just like, rah.
After Ewoks.
Yeah, after Ewoks.
I think I was
that
too
was
drunk to be upset.
Oh no!
I think
you were
that's
definitely upset through the drunkenness.
I haven't watched the stream and I refuse to.
Ewoks at discardtoreroll.com.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But so
Brian misses me cheering him up.
I really did. I
Yeah.
texted Flock. I was like, "Yo, wish you were here, buddy." At Nova, every time I lost, he's like, "Dude, you're gonna get it. Don't even worry about it." And he's like, "Yeah, it's fine."
I looked over at during Top Cut. Brian just like sitting in the corner, just playing his Nintendo Switch with like his headphones in. He's
I
like,
didn't want to
hate
watch. I was so
everybody."
pissed. I was tilted to the max. And like I will say, and I do want to stress this, that every time that I play in a tournament, if I'm like quiet or like I'm not chuckling or like smiling, don't take it personally. I'm just a self. I respect the hell out of everyone that I play against. Like everyone across the table on Saturday, you were great. Like,
He just hates himself.
No, yeah,
I don't hate you,
honestly,
just myself.
I did. If you knew me, you would understand how accurate that statement is. Truly,
That's funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I don't know. I don't think one tournament can define people. I think it just happens. You move on.
right?
A few games go south. You get tilted. Things happen. Like, I don't know. I would say anybody that had a bad tournament at a prime in the build up to Worlds, like, move on. Like,
That's what it's there for.
It's
Yeah.
good to get it out of my system now, which is what Jack
Yeah.
repeatedly told me.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to
Bad
hear it on
balls and bad balls
Saturday. I didn't want to hear it on Saturday, but I absolutely agree now.
Yeah. I mean, like, I learned so much more from my losses than I do from my wins. Like, you could just win by dumb luck, and it's like, what did I learn? Well, I just rolled threes. Like, it didn't teach me how to get out of bad situations or claw back in a game.
Right.
Whereas, like, you got put into those situations, you tried something, it didn't come back, and you're like, okay, maybe option B was the better choice. Or I got myself into the spot because I sequenced like this, where next time I know, like, I'm going to sequence this way, and it'll set me
Right.
up for a better play. So, like, I don't know. Say that to anybody, and anybody coming up, right? There's Prime coming up on the 12th is this Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, right? If you perform poorly with the deck you're expecting to go with Worlds, if you've been just sinking time into that, keep faith, maybe make a few adjustments, and just keep testing and grinding, because you still got another 4 days till you have to submit deck lists, I think. Wednesday is the rumored date, Wednesday night. So
Are they going to send an email out like when we need it? To be sent?
Matt Holland mentioned today on Facebook that an email is supposed to go out shortly regarding the procedure of how you're going to submit lists and what time and what day and things like that.
Gotcha.
So
Isn't it like day B's got to do before day A, something like that?
they have
Or
to
they
do it
just
at the
all
same time. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, last year it was like you submitted when you showed up, so that means 1A had to submit, and then people that played 1B got to see how the meta shaked out, make adjustments, change decks, do whatever they wanted, and then they submitted when they showed up, and then same thing for C. So there's an advantage to playing B or C, depending on how you look at it. I was glad that I played I played second day, I think. I just couldn't deal with all that mental gymnastics. You know me, right? The more time I have to think, the worse it gets.
Well, honestly, I feel like if I played day 2, right, I think my anxiety would be through the roof, because like my deck list is submitted, right? I'm looking at the field, I'm seeing what's being played, and I'm thinking like, like I shouldn't have picked that, or I should have included this because there's so much more of this. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just go get it over with, and then what happens, what happens.
Well, the meta's going to be different, though, because you got to think about it like primes. Each prime usually has different decks that show up. So just because day 1A has these decks doesn't mean you're going to see those exact decks
That's true.
in day
And
B.
like,
It could be completely different.
Well, what
I don't
people
know about
started tech for
Rochester, but,
last
like-
year was like Sabine did so well, so people started to tech or think about Sabine in days or 1B and 1C for Worlds last year. Like nobody expected Sabine,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, I think Mike played day 1A, and he 6-0'd, and then I think Sabine, Yoda or Kanan or something also 6-0'd. So then everybody's like, "Oh crap, Sabine's real."
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's certain. I mean, and especially like at 5, I don't know. I think it'll be different. Like, I don't know if there's really any way to tech for stuff like with 500. Like, this is like the most absurd thing in the world. Like, if I have I don't know. If I'm running a deck, there's no way I'm just going to be like, all right, well, I'm going to tech for this matchup because like you could play it once.
Right.
You know, there's going to be so much just stuff into the field, like not even just Django. There's just going to be just so much different things, people doing their own builds. And there's so many viable decks at this point, I think, and this weekend kind of showed that I don't know. I wouldn't
like
plan specifically.
So you think like a mind extraction's not not good to tech for?
Well, okay, so wait, can I pause for a second because I do want to say I want to give props to the Raylo player that I played. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. Was it Joe?
Quietek?
Quietek, yeah,
Yep.
Quietek. So Quietek is like the end of round 3, and like it's very gross. And this dude, I applaud you because I have R2D2 left with just R2's die and then an Ezra Saber, and he mind extractioned R2, and I had
that.
Faithful, so like I could have,
Turn.
turned to 2, and been done with it. But nope, I rolled like a resource and a discard. Resource and something, resource and a blank. I don't know.
Non-damage.
Something that's not useful to me. And I was like, well, there he goes, and it like won him the game. So like I think there's more uses for a card like Mind Extraction, but like I feel like it has to hit multiple different things. Like you can't just tech for one out of the 19 decks right now that are super hot, you know?
Yeah, and I would say like Mind Extraction specifically, like I almost think that has play into a decent amount of decks to where like I'd be okay slotting one. But I wouldn't come from the perspective of like the only deck that this works against is Palpatine and I want to tech against that. Like I would shy away from that. For me, my perspective right now is like I want to get through Swiss and whatever I see in Top Cut, I'll deal with that when that time comes. Like I would just much rather focus on bringing a deck that I feel like I can pilot to a 6-2 or better record and then deal with everything else after that.
I feel like we're going to see a sea of Raylo players. Like Scott was saying, like it's not an expensive deck. I mean, 70 like comparatively, like if you look at I don't know. I don't even know what to compare it to, but if you look at a different deck, I'm sure it's more than like $60 or $70. Like I feel like Raylo is a great entry point, and you'll see Raylo players of all skill levels in the first like 4 rounds.
But it's still like you think about it, what do you say? 30% would be that, but that's still what that'd be like 150 people on Raylo. Like that's still an insane amount to like assume. You know what I mean? Like even if there is a majority percentage, like it's still like I still think you could probably only play one Raylo. Like on average, I think people only play one Raylo as they go through.
I'll peg it at 18%.
All right, so Scott, execute program, turn that into a number.
18%
90?
of what? 500?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
like 90 people.
Just multiply 18 times 5.
Yes, I'm asking you to do it. You're the robot.
It's literally 90.
I don't work well in
Well, all right. So
Sith deals in absolutes.
So on this topic, I think we can start to go into the Prime results. And shout out to Ira Bell and the Star Wars Destiny podcast. She has the website, and she's keeping track of the 2019 and 2020 Prime championships. And we have this first weekend results. And so there were 8 Primes this weekend. We had 2 Elite Chopper, Elite 3PO R2 wins. We had 2 Raylo wins. We had 1 Forlom Grievous Messenger deck win. We had 1 Elite Django Palp Lightsaber Mastery win. We had 1 Elite Palp Jabba Lightsaber Mastery. And then we had 1 Plo Chirpa Ewok Hoth Trooper win. So those were the 8 decks. The only repeating ones were Raylo and Elite and 5 Die Chopper. So what do you guys have thoughts on anything? Is there anything that's shocking to you that stands out about these results?
Shocking? No. I would say that I was really interested in the decks that popped up. Like the newer ones, like both Palp builds, I was super interested in. The Pop Job and the 12-0, like that's insane.
Yeah, going 12-0, and I get it. Jabba lets you search for stuff, but to me, like, I don't know, a 3 die start is a little crazy. Like at least Django, you can kind of argue that it's like almost like a 5-die start. Or I guess you could argue the Palp job is a 3-die, right? Because you get the power action and ability back in. But then the Django one as well, you're basically getting a free resource each turn because of his ability as well. So you do have some options, but certainly Palp seems to be the big winner of this. But I'm mostly shocked at the Plo Chirpa Ewok Hoth Trooper deck because I still don't understand how that is winning. Like, are people
that was a Europe only?
What's that?
I thought that was like a Europe meta only kind of a.
Yeah.
Because they're so weird and jank.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like people just don't know what they're doing against it, and that's what it's taking advantage of right now. And, like, to me, it's like you kill Ewok turn 1, you kill another Ewok, you kill the Hoth, and then Chirpa and Plo Koon just kind of sit there.
Right.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think it'll be there. Like, I think the fact that it won something means people are playing it, and I think people will continue to play it because it's on the similar fold of you mentioned. It's even cheaper than Raylo. Like, there's literally no legendaries in it. At least I don't think so.
There's
but
no
I will...
dice in it. It's
Chirpa,
all events.
Chirpa and Plo? Oh, you mean like
Plo Koon?
upgrades? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so basically you just play those. You have those 2 cards. What are they? $2, probably less.
Yeah.
The rest are all commons and uncommons.
They might be running pod racers still to switch the battlefield because if they're doing the Ewok, they don't get to do it.
Yeah, no.
They got moving
That's-
rocks. Did you see that though?
That's hilarious.
Stole
Yeah, I
6
heard that
shields.
hit.
Right there.
Yeah, stole 6 shields from Raylo against Zach Bond, and Zach was like, "Oh, what does that card do? Can you spot an apprentice? What is that? Spot a Jedi." And he's like, "Yeah, that's a pretty good card." And the guy was like, "Yep." So that was pretty interesting. But like once you figure out that stuff, it's like, oh, that deck's sitting on 3 resources. You know, maybe
Right.
adapt to it. Like now that it's similar to the Gen Con list, like once you realize what it's doing, you take a few cards and you're fine. And it's not even like take a few cards against that, it's just like play differently and adjust to what they're doing. So I'd be shocked. There'll probably be a few in Top Cut, but I'd be if by the time we get to like, because what does it start out? Top 64? Is it 32 players from each day? I think move on.
I do not know.
No clue.
I think
This
that's
is all
what it
new
is.
to me.
I think that's what it is. So I'm going to just base off my assumption of that. I wouldn't be surprised if top 64 makes a few, but then after that, like even once we get to top 16, I'd be shocked if there's any Ewoks in there. But
Yeah, I don't know. You got to be pretty good to play. Well, I don't know. I don't really know how that deck operates, but you kind of got to know what you're doing a little bit for Ewoks.
yeah, I mean it comes out swinging, right? You activate Plo, you do 2 indirect and a direct with all the non-uniques you have, but by round 2 that shouldn't be happening. So I don't really understand it. Maybe I'm just bad. I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing it, but I'm not impressed by this deck, and I'm not overly worried about seeing it at Worlds.
So, what would you say you're the
Wow,
most worried
GSP.
about?
GSP?
Yeah, George St. Pierre, when he came into the ring after Matt Hughes defended his title, and he was like, I was not impressed by your performance. It was his
Talking
version
about
of trash
wrestling?
talk.
Yeah, I 100%
No, this is
know those
the-
things.
This is UFC, not wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same thing, dog.
Come on, Flockton. Come on, man.
Oh, I'm
everyone
so, oh, my
everyone
bad.
above the Mason-Dixon line, it's the same thing, bro.
My bad.
And I guess it's also to note, though, that the Plo Koon deck won Arizona, which was 22. So it's like we talked about how it's
they
hard
got sunburn out there.
Yeah, they got sunburn out there. We talk about store champs, and it's like, okay, those things they're relevant to keep track of, but like you're not going to jump to wild conclusions about things. And I think it's the same thing, right? I mean, there's only 20 people. It's hard to make a judgment about something like that. The highest we had this weekend was 39. 43, sorry, in Texas. And Forlom was the winner. Screw you, Chip, dude. Getting
Is he
revenge.
even relevant?
Is
Chip?
Forlom relevant?
No.
Shiv?
Maybe Shiv.
My name's
That's funny.
What is his name? Chev Palpatine?
Chef Palpatine. But there was an Ewok deck in that. Well, I don't even know if it's Ewok at that point, but it was Plo Koon. In semifinals, it lost, but it was Plo Koon, Chirpa, Hoth Trooper with Bitter Rivalry was the deck there.
That's a thing.
And again, I don't understand. I mean, now they get to take Arena of Death, so that piques my interest a little more, but I still don't really understand overly. Like, you can activate your characters quick, make that, Hoth Trooper irrelevant. And it wouldn't surprise me, like, if people are going after, like, Plo Koon first. Like if you put 2 in him and then like there were reports that people would do the 2 damage from Bitter Rivalry into Plo Koon, and then it just gets like steadfasted back. It's like, all right, well that's your fault. Why did you do it to the blue character, who only gets his ability based off the other characters you have? So just do 2 into the Hoth Trooper, or I would even potentially do it into the Ewok. Depending on if you have Battlefield, you can have him do his afters first, and then you do your afters. But yeah. Whatever. That's what it is. So going into Worlds, how do you feel like this affects it? Do you guys feel like the meta is wide open? Do you feel like people are hiding things? Are droids not relevant? Is Satine or Han not relevant? I mean, Chopper 1-2, 5-die, but is Faithful Companion out?
No, I think Faithful Companion is useful. I think that my games were still close, even though I got dumpstered every time in my mind. Like it was only a few damage off. I think droids are still valid, and I think that the meta is wide open. I don't think that this changes everything for Worlds because, like you said, like if there's X amount of decks out there, I'm not gonna tech, for every single one. I'm gonna, build the best 30 and kind of go from there and just do my thing.
Yeah. Scott, anything shock you?
Nah. Forlom. Relevant, apparently. Allegedly. Nah, I mean, like the Plo Koon Ewok trooper thing, I'm like, that's surprised that still has the traction it has. But otherwise, yeah, it's pretty much where I thought it would be. Like, as I said, if I was playing in Worlds, I'd be playing Raylo, but that's not just due to pure laziness. That's just due to the fact that it's probably one of your best options.
Yep.
Especially if it's something that you've been on for a while, I would see no reason to be changing horses midstream on that.
I just hate mirrors. I just don't like dealing with mirrors at all.
That's fair.
That just does not appease me at all.
That's not what that word means.
I wasn't going to say anything, but as a history teacher, that did bother me.
All right, then what word do I use there?
Appeal
to you.
Yeah, it doesn't appeal to,
is something different.
It doesn't appeal to me.
I get that, but like
I like sitting down at the table across from someone. They go, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
The
That's what I
Grammar
like to
Dice
hear.
podcast.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but you can only ensure that if you bring like absolute crazy,
True.
which
Big
you
trip.
do for the most part.
I do. This is the only time I didn't. I feel
Yeah, Kylo, especially after the change, probably would not be as rogue as your normal.
Yeah.
Fact.
I'm thinking maybe keeping Phasma going like aggro, just more aggro, like keeping with guns, maybe like IG-88 or something.
I was
I don't
gonna
know.
say, Big Flockdaddy, what are you bringing?
I'm still pondering. I have no clue. I was gonna bring my 3-wide today, and then I got dumped on by all the good decks, and I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So.
Any surprises to you from this weekend, Flock? Anything stand out to you that you were interested to see, shocked to see?
Well, I don't.
Excited?
At the place we were at, it was all monos. Like just seeing a lot of just people wanting to play Blue Hero. That's what we saw a lot. The 4-wide Cody clone. That made top 8. It's pretty interesting to see.
Did it lose in
Shit ton
top
of
8?
health.
It's like 32 health or something like that. It's just like holy cow, so much health.
You know what the big thing, and it just interests me, is that I mean I guess Jabba got close at us, but I think Dan was like the only one on Jabba, and I don't see like really scrolling through. I don't even see too many Jabba, like even making top 8. I mean I see one. There was one in Oregon that made top 8, but
The thing that scares me with Job is that it's like with DM around and like Separatist Embargo, if they care to run it, like you'll just be sitting there. There was I think the finals, right, where he was just sitting with a stack of money and nothing to do with it. Like with probe, not counter intel, but like taking cards and stuff like that. I don't know. It scares me.
it's funny because he's one of the best DM decks, but he should have so much to play that he doesn't necessarily care about it, and he should be able to avoid DM due to probe and counterintelligence, like you said. But it's certainly interesting that I don't know. He felt maybe people just didn't want to run him because he's their deck as well.
Possibly.
But yeah, look, and it seems like I did in a quick scan. I just did. It seems like only 3 made top 8, and I didn't see any make top 4 or above. But that was a quick scroll through, so I could definitely be wrong. Oh, Scott, did you see what's made top 4 in Kansas?
I did not.
Poe, Ayla, Armored Reinforcement.
Oh, I
Your
did
deck,
not
dude.
see, but I did hear.
Your deck, man.
I know that's I mean, I hat off to that lady or gentleman, because
Grandpa Jake.
Grandpa Jake, you are a brave, brave, brave man.
He took the gamble that nobody was going to run AR, and I guess it paid off for him.
You mean DM?
Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
he ran AR.
Yeah. If
What do you
again,
have for that deck?
it's always like a
Black
super
one.
funny trolly moment where it's like, oh, you don't have anything to deal with this, and there's a ton of normal things that deal with that. Oh, you don't have like mitigation in your hand, or like any mitigation, or just anything. It's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. The special's
which is
literally
funny.
absurd. I mean, you ran that all the way back at PAX Unplugged, didn't you? Or was that
Yeah,
Riggs
well,
ran it?
that was Biggs and Ayla. That was trilogy, so it was like Biggs and Poe.
Yeah.
And then I did Ayla and Poe when I actually was like looking. I'm air quote looking at running it. Just more like, is this a funny deck that could like
Yeah.
top 4 in a prime? And
Apparently.
yes, apparently the answer is yes.
Oh, didn't you play against Brian? Well, I think that was
On a stream, I think.
Yeah, Brian, you played, I think, Emphas Nest like Watt or something like that versus Poe Ayla, or something along those lines.
That
Yeah.
sounds about right.
How'd that go?
It was cool.
How do you
Brian
think?
won, I believe. Brian 2-1.
Brian
Yeah,
2-1?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
He lost the first game and then won the other 2, I think it was.
Yeah, I remember like one of the games. It was like just roll like a 1 on, just roll one of the 1 damage sides on black 1, and I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. But yeah, I mean, like Poe's Blaster is awesome. Special
Yeah.
chaining still works.
Yeah, when I went back and rewatched a lot of our videos to do the standings for our stream games, I remember watching that one. I was like, Poe Ayla, look at that. Oh, Emphas Watt. I like this matchup. That was pretty fun to watch. So having all this understood, just talking about, I think the interesting, almost under the radar a little bit, but Minion played it at Tamaqua. He played Satine, Elite Satine, 3PO, R2 with Armored Reinforcements. And I actually played him round 4, I think it was, which is up on our YouTube. I'm still working on getting the top cut. Sorry for being a little bit behind, but it's hard to do commentary because you got to sit there for like an hour and a half, and it's been hard to find time. So hopefully I can do that tomorrow and get the top 8, top 4, and finals out soon to people. But you'll see that deck featured again in top 8, actually versus the Palp Django that eventually won. So you get to see both those. But his deck was certainly interesting, right? It's almost like he plays chicken versus the DM decks because he still has a lot of good supports, right? If he just plays Hired and Fickles and Crates, he's probably fine along with his upgrade package, right? They're still probably running 5 to 6 upgrades. But then if he does get to the resources and he knows both DMs are gone, he can just bring in the Falcon with the Escape Craft and just do absurd things that it does. So that almost seems like an underrepresented deck. I think that was really good, and what Minion played really impressed me. I really liked that deck a lot. And so that's something that I think underperformed almost, but I think it came second in Oregon. Maybe. Yes. It lost to the Palp Jabba Lightsaber Mastery. But there was a lot of stuff clouding that with the whole stream thing and whatnot. But so I think this team player was a little bit on tilt. I don't know if that's the necessary word, but he was a little off his game as well. But that's certainly interesting. And then for droids as well, Han seems to have disappeared. I think, was there one in Cleveland this weekend? And I think Han might have made it in there. Yeah, there we go. Yep, right in North Olmsted, Ohio. Elite 3PO R2 Han Fateful made top 8, and also another one made semifinals. So it seems like all 3 versions of droids are still here, right? Satine, Han, and Chopper. They all just kind of changed how they operated a little bit.
It's a little more fair too. Like
Yeah,
playing against
definitely.
it.
Yeah, there's more options. I still think they're like the top thing to beat. And I'll be perfectly honest that I'm kind of torn between those 3 of what I'm going to play for Worlds. I mean, at this point, I think every deck is known. I don't really know how much spice there is, so I'm not really afraid to say like what I'm running. So pretty much between those three. But as we've talked about earlier, I'll decide in a much later date.
Yeah, Wednesday night you'll decide.
Wednesday night. When's the deck list submitted, right?
When's deck list?
I can't wait to sit in the B&B, Airbnb, and just watch the madness.
Yeah. Well, I really think I'm
It
going to
won't
try
be as
to.
bad because we're flying, but
I think I'm going to try all three Thursday night. I'm going to try to get a bunch of games with each of them. And then at that point, make a decision. And then through Friday, Saturday probably won't play much. And then maybe Sunday and Monday, just try to grind a bunch of games with that deck and really just try to get in the right mindset of like what I'm trying to do, what my mulligans are, what the matchups look like, things like that. So I don't know. I'm really hoping
and
I
then
pick.
he'll change his mind.
Yeah, there's a chance, but I'm really hoping I stick with it. I mean, I've talked about it. Like, the best finish I've ever had was where I stuck with the deck all through the regional season.
Mhm.
And that was Sabine last year. So
And then you keep doing not that.
yeah, but most of the
it
stuff.
works half the time though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like
50%
I've had.
of the time, it works 100% of the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not like I've had garbage results. Like, I'm still making cut with most of the things I'm doing, so it's not. I'm not overly upset, but I also am maybe not taking primes as seriously as other people. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really care to practice a bunch and bring something to a prime. Like, with how like, you can predict the meta of a prime more so than you can for worlds of a 500 people, right? So I'm okay bringing something that I think might counter the, I guess previously it was 60 people. And so, like, doing Mill before I went 7-1 with that or 6-1, whatever it was. And like Tarkin Snoke, I got put onto that the night before and came second at Connecticut with 64 people or whatever. And, that was a prediction that Tommy was able to call and he put me on that and it worked out. So I'm not overly upset, but like something where Worlds, there's so many people. I mean, there was even like 250 last year, I think that might be a little higher. Maybe it was like 230 or something, but there's so many people, it's hard to predict what the meta is going to be. So you really just got to play what you are best at. And at this point, I really just haven't done that. If we had more primes, like, I don't know, if Prime season started earlier, maybe I would have just brought one version of droids to all of them and just grinded through. But here we are, boys. Here we are.
I'm gonna try not to change my mind at all. I think I've decided that I'm playing Palp, and I'll probably just go forward with it.
Still got to test
On
Maul, dude.
Shackle.
Say it again.
He said on Shackle. I said you still got to test Maul, dude. Maul's legit. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah,
man.
I
Decide
would
Thursday.
play Maul.
We're gonna get games
No,
tomorrow,
Brian, do not play Maul.
dude.
Play Maul. Play Maul.
Brian,
more comfortable with
Brian should not play Maul.
I'm more comfortable with Palpatine.
That's fair.
Because I'm just with Maul, you have a lot of swinginess with that. And if he starts coming out a little, like if Maul starts coming out like a little underperforming with his rolls and whatnot, it can get real ugly real quick. And then
I'll
that
be on
just
tilt.
is...
I'll lose my game. I'll be
Yep.
pissed off the rest of the day.
Don't
I'll go
let-
and drink at the content creators, and then you'll never see me again in Jersey. I'll be stuck in Minnesota somewhere.
If you are a player that is prone to going on tilt, do not bring a deck
Guilty.
that
tilt
can
you.
roll you into tilt.
That's fair.
Well, that's the thing about Palpatine. Like, honestly, it doesn't even like. I'll roll out.
You take whatever you
17
get.
dice.
You roll so many dice that it evens itself out.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like, did I roll anything good? Can I use this? Sure, we'll use all these. The other stuff, let's re-roll. We'll try it again. Oh, I'll use this and then throw it back out there because Pal can do that. Like, I just like the mechanics of the deck. I feel comfortable with the deck.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, there are some decks that are gonna, roll my ass off the table round 1 or round 2, and there's nothing I can do about that. But like,
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go out and play the best I can with Pal because that's what I'm comfortable with. I
So
think.
on that, and talking about what decks we're gonna run, what do you guys think is the most likely deck to win Worlds this year?
Oh, that's so tough. I'm still inclined to say Raylo. Like, Raylo's just such a solid deck that has a lot of strengths and a few weaknesses. And like, you can run Raylo, like that 30 can look a little different like whoever's running it and still be solid as hell. If it's not Raylo, then I think maybe Jabba.
I think Palpa has a good shot with this one.
I would like to hope that
'Cause-
Palp has a good shot.
Yeah, because I just see the few times I've played Palp and also seen Palp played into Raylo, like it from my understanding, Palp just beats Raylo. So I mean, I'm expecting a lot of Palp or Raylos to show up. Palp does a pretty good job against that, and a lot of other decks. It just shields up so much and just so much work.
I definitely don't want to see Satine droids win. I just don't want droids to be a thing anymore. Like, period. They hit them, let them be done. Like, they're still good. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they're put on an equal playing field now. So like, droids, I don't want them to win. Like, I guess I'm just prejudiced. I don't know.
We don't serve your kind here.
Brian is that bartender.
You're playing droids. Get out.
The drunk one,
No, you're
He's
the
the drunk
bartender.
bartender.
the one that samples his own wares.
Samples no worse. Brian, I'm probably opposite of you. I mean, I don't want them to win, but I think they will.
Oh, sure.
That would be my
fair.
pick.
Wait, didn't you say you might be playing droids? Some
Yeah,
version of it?
I'm winning, dude.
I don't want him to win, but I'm playing it.
Well, no, I'm not saying I don't
Unless
care.
I'm playing it, then I want it to win.
I'm not upset of whatever deck wins. I'm just saying, like, I'm not sitting there actively rooting for droids to win, but I think they will.
I think droids would be the only one that I'm annoyed if they win. Every other deck is fair game, but like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm just tired of them.
I hope
I was
Chopper
just-
Droids doesn't win, dude. Dude, I got full on tilt, dude. I played Chopper Droids today. Didn't even have to use R2's action, man. Didn't even have to do it.
I wish I rolled like that at Tamaqua. So
But yeah, I mean that's Worlds pretty much build up. I don't know. Any other thoughts on Worlds? Do we just want to jump into some Patreon questions? You guys have any other thoughts? Any other questions?
So why don't I get that beer, that Patreon beer?
Because you're not a Patreon.
But you put the tally up there, and I clicked. I'm coming.
I also hit the gritty.
Yeah. So
There
did
you
Brian.
go. So you, O'Brien, and I won.
No, it's not how that works. Not how any
All
of
I
this
right.
told
works.
Jack about a case. So.
Jack, you can give my beer to
Ooh, who does Scott like more? Nobody.
I'm thinking. I'm trying to come up with a like qualifier here that would like
And they
Yeah.
play on different days, so you can't do placement or anything.
can't do placement.
Ooh, true. Big true.
Flockton, you play 1B, right?
Yeah, but 1B. So
All right.
I'll be
All right,
really following
Tyler
Brian.
Flockton.
Yes.
Who is your
Aw.
favorite professional wrestler?
My favorite professional wrestler? Oh, I like the Rey Mysterio. When I was
Why?
little, he's my favorite one because he's just a little short dude who just runs around and just like swings on the. I don't know. I always liked him.
All right, Brian. Same question to you.
John Cena.
That would have been my answer.
Flockton gets the beer.
Yes.
There you go, Flockdaddy.
Yes.
Congratulations, Flockton.
Would
If
it be
you're
different if I said The Undertaker?
He
Okay.
had reasoning behind it, maybe. Yeah.
I played SmackDown versus Raw like once in my life.
Flockton gets the
all right.
The
For some
correct
of these-
answer for everyone would have been Shawn Michaels.
John Cena still.
Chaz Michaels from Blaze of Glory.
No. HBK, the Heartbreak Kid. I'll make you
Um,
watch his entrance video.
All right, so we'll get into these questions. Some of these are Inception that don't make sense as per usual.
Put Smurley on, you cowards.
But then he proceeds to ask questions like of Mr. Chip, and I'm just like, Mr. Chip's not on. I never said he was. And like his first question is, what are Chip's thoughts on that dead Forlom deck out finishing him this weekend? He probably loves it. He's probably feeling it right
I love
now.
that half these questions are for Chip.
Yes. Well, as soon as I said that, he's not on.
We will answer as if we are Chip.
Yeah, we'll just presume that we know what Chip's thinking.
Yep.
So he probably feels great about dismissing that. And
Ding.
Inception asks, will Chip ever play another game of Destiny, or is he going to retire early?
Or late, I guess.
Or late, I guess.
Harsh.
What's Mr. Chip's favorite card in Destiny? Rig Detonation.
Yeah, I was gonna say rig that. After I pulled that on.
Oh no
twice.
no no! It's got to be DJ. He's got the spot clause.
Yeah, dude, he's a big fan of DJ.
Big
Yeah,
fan
it's
of
the first time he
Loves
asked me
DJ.
when I showed up. He goes, "So, did you bring DJ Tolson?"
And you're like,
That's his
no,
first
dude,
question.
DJ's trash.
I'm like, DJ's pretty
DJ.
bad.
Bad
at
tells an older 66.
Yeah,
Yes, let's put 6 evens in the deck.
got him.
Actually, no, you can't. You can only put the 4 because it's not red.
Got
Red
him.
characters.
Yeah, Flock was just
Got
trying to get you DQ'd.
That I didn't know that.
Judge.
It took me a little while. That Order 66 plot, what was it? Order 66 is blue plot, and
Mhm.
Execute Order 66 is red.
Red card.
That like really, I was like, I saw that like a week ago, and I was like, oh.
At the park, FFG.
I'm proud of you.
Took me a little while to get. I was like, okay, cool.
Smurley of Smurley asked, delve or deja vu in regards to Afra?
Deja vu.
Delve.
Delve.
Rest in peace, Brian.
3 resources, deal yourself indirect damage, draw a card, and play whatever support you want.
Deja vu.
It's
Deja vu to delve twice.
that's 6 resources. That's insane.
Yeah, so
Yes. Whatever.
whatever.
Doesn't
It's
even
20
matter.
It's 2019 Destiny. You can get as many resources as you want.
I like deja vu with Afra specifically a lot, but I don't know if there's a better play in the game than delving a fist, like turn 1.
Yeah, it's the most oppressive thing you can do round 1.
It's so dumb. And so for that, I put
yeah.
delve a little higher.
It's the type of thing that like shouldn't exist, not because it's like dominating things, but just because it's, you know, when it happens, it's just like, all right, well, unless you whiff completely, game's done.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, like the Maul deck we talked about earlier, it's like it kind of does Maul things, like it's looking for a lot of damage of that, but it's also just looking to delve fist. It's like, oh, here's my aggro character, let me delve a giant support in because the support's so busted. But that's what it is. So for my vote, goes there delve. But Deja Vu, I think with Afra is just pretty busted because the amount of 0 cost and all the things that you get to draw into is pretty insane.
Yeah.
I think my answer still stands.
Good for you.
I'm not budging because you guys. I'll be the. That's fine.
Is Mr. Chip going to Worlds? No. And then, what is Mr. Chip most excited about at Worlds?
I love how when you posted the question, you were like, all right, any questions? By the way, Flock's going to be here. Is Mr. Chip going to Worlds? What's Mr. Chip think about this?
What is Chip most excited about at Worlds? I think
Forlom.
Forlom winning.
hanging out with Drew.
Hanging out with Drew. He loves playing Mill. I think he's
Watching
just gonna.
Last Jedi.
I think Chip wants
Hanging
to
out with
pods
Drew. Hanging
all
out with
Mill.
Drew, and then playing the rapping soundboard
Yeah.
repeatedly.
His name is Shiv.
The name's Chef.
Who wins Worlds? Jack, Mr. Chip, or the dog? Dog
Jack's
being my
dog.
dog, Rocky.
Oh, Rocky.
Down,
100%.
down.
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 Definitely Rocky. Sorry, Chip.
Flock's boner.
Down.
I didn't
Right
know
in
didn't know that was an option, but I will take it.
It's always an option.
Alan wants to know, why did I listen to Shane on what deck to run?
Yeah, I don't know. Bold strategy, Cotton.
Did me well.
You know Shane doesn't play this game anymore, right? Shane hasn't played this game in 87 years.
He's fresh perspective. He's like fresh, untainted.
Shane's literally
Eyes.
playing League of Legends right now.
You could
Every
have-
time, without fail, League of Legends will be podcast.
Shane is he's a witch.
Well, to
he
be fair-
scries it in
To be
like
fair,
the
To
bones
be fair,
with
Drew's
blood,
playing
like
League of Legends right now, too.
the witch in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Drew has also probably played like 100 games in the past like 24 hours already.
Yeah, he
Drew got up at 4 a.m. and played Tabletop Simulator for, I think, until about 9:30 tonight. So
Fact. And also, Drew has shown up to an event and won something. Won a major.
Well,
Fact.
Shane showed up to Kappa Cup last year and got second place.
Go second. Yeah, true.
Yep.
Yeah, he did show up.
Good for him. Maybe he'll show up again this year.
Maybe he'll show up this year.
Smurley follows that up and says, why did you listen to Shane, period? And the world may never know.
again, yep.
Alan wants to know, does Flockton wish he baked his Phasma Blaster die? Did it roll blanks all day?
No, it was actually rolling pretty well till the finals. basically. I got a lot of focuses and specials.
Gotcha.
Phasma. Actually rolled pretty well till the very end.
Phasma's Blaster, though.
It was Phasma's Blaster that screwed me in the finals.
That's what we were asking.
Kept rolling. Oh, Blaster? I thought he said just Phasma.
No. He said the word.
Oh, I wasn't listening to that part.
Yeah, we know. We know.
What? Yeah, Phasma's Blaster.
He just blanked for another 20 minutes.
Was trash for me. It literally kept rolling the 1 damage. I'm like, you do have a 2, 3 for 1 and a +4, and it kept rolling.
And the sentient die said, no. No, I don't.
No. I'll just have to. So Smirley then again asks, I'll have just next Wednesday to practice before deck submission. That night is what it's looking like. What do I practice and submit? I'll speak specifically to Smirley, and that I feel like he's been on Afro a long time, so I would encourage him to run some form of Afro, whatever he figures out. And what you're playing against, I'd probably do like 2 versions of I would probably say if you can do all 3 versions of the droids, practice against that. Jabba, a Palp deck, Raylo, and you could get away with that. If you have enough time to play Forlom and maybe get a game in versus Ewoks just to see what the heck's happening, experience it. But definitely droids, definitely Jabba, definitely Raylo, and definitely Palp. You can cut the droid. You could probably cut either Han or Chopper, right? They kind of operate similarly. They're definitely different a little bit. And they'd have different styles, but kind of similar. So that's what I would say to him. And Alan says, ask Shane. And then Smirley says, refer to previous question. Why would you ask Shane?
I would argue anything you're comfortable with, if personally, what you're most comfortable bringing.
I said bring Talzin.
The most reps with.
Talzin, maybe.
Bring Talzin. Talzin's great.
One Love says, do you believe when choosing a deck for Worlds, it essentially boils down to easy pickings, desperate measures, or Raylo?
That's good.
If playing villain, you got to play villain yellow. Like, have to.
Yeah, so that's the desperate measures part. Yeah,
exactly. You have
he says as he ran blue-red.
That's not Worlds.
That is true.
Yeah, I can't think of a hero deck that I'd like to bring that would not have yellow, so you're definitely running easy pickings.
Like this feels like a big game of rock, paper, scissors, nunchuck, gun, nuclear weapon, stick.
You forgot Lizard Spock, dude.
Lizard Spock is the 4 and 5. Come on.
Yes, Lizard Spock, dude.
But we look at every deck that won this weekend. It fits these 3, right? The Chopper deck has easy pickings. Raylo's Raylo, Forlom, Django, and Jabba all have desperate measures, and then Ewoks have easy pickings.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I think pretty much your decision is like, am I running a desperate measures deck or am I not, type thing. And if you're not, then that means you're probably running hero with easy pickings or Raylo.
Yeah, so
it comes down to that.
One Love, yes.
And then his follow-up question says, Brian, do you believe when choosing a deck for Worlds, it essentially boils down to shot collars, or shot collars?
I'm really excited for Worlds to be over. I just want to make decks that suck.
Wait, you stopped doing that?
I started taking your advice, so joke's on you, pal.
Got him.
But got him. So, did I tell that story in the podcast? I don't know. Flock talks in his sleep.
That he thinks he invented
Oh
that?
my god, no.
Flock talks in his sleep, and he woke up one night when we were at Nova, and he just yelled there, and he goes, got him! And then went right back to sleep, started snoring and everything.
He's got Tourette's.
And then I woke up and said, yeah, or whatever.
He woke up like 30 minutes later. He's like, right, and then he went right back to sleep. Flock's a national treasure. Yes, no. So actually, I do believe it comes down to shot collars. Believe it or not. So, shot collars. I think it's, and it's a tough one. I'm going to say shot collar.
Dude, it would really show those Admiral decks. It's like, how dare you reset? Take a damage.
Dude, wait until you see double down shot collar madness.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
3 damage. 3 damage, dude. That's crazy. That means you're dead by turn 4.
I hope you're doing other damage.
No, probably not. Have you seen the stream games? Literally, this like 3 times Smirley's been like, "Is that a mill deck? Because you suck."
Oh, it's funny because it's true.
It is. And I'm like, no, I just suck. Sorry.
All right, on the next one, Batman Anderson says scenario. Mr. Chip has to mail cards to Thunder for Worlds. He's visibly stressed about this because he needs those
hate
cards
word
for
problems.
Kappa Cup the following weekend. This could be how discard to reroll ends. So question, what card would you never want to loan through the mail out of fear you wouldn't have it for a major tournament? The card must have a die because they are the worst to mail.
Ooh.
Literally any legendary that is worth more than $5.
Neiman Mastery.
That's a good one.
I wouldn't want to loan that. The droids, those are probably my most fear.
Force Storm.
Nah, Force Storm only fits one place.
Exactly. But if you're running like a deck for Worlds,
I
you
also
need
have
Force
four,
Storm.
so
Brian's selling them.
I bought a case. What can I do?
Not buy a case?
Nah. Get out of here, nerd. No. Yeah, I'd say one of the Masteries, probably.
Flockton?
Force
You
Storm.
said Storm, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say one of the droids because it's like they always go together and, you lose one, it's tough to play the other. But a lot of legendaries I think I would feel uncomfortable lending out because...
Yeah, but here's the rub of that. All right, so you lose one, you can't play the other, so then you're just having to go to a different deck. But if you didn't have a Neiman Mastery, you might be like, well, maybe I could get away with it.
And then you can't.
And then you try, and then you're like...
And then you lose.
you
And then I
lose.
cry.
Man, you guys really wanted
That
me
is
to
a
edit this episode.
foregone conclusion.
Then I got poopy pizza from next door.
When? Why?
He's talking about...
Saturday, I got pizza after my loss, and it was just as disappointing as my performance.
Why would you get pizza in Tamaqua, Pennsylvania?
Because there was nothing else?
Either I go to the Dollar General and some like Slim Jims for the 14-hour day we had, or
Quality control on those Slim Jims is probably far outstripping that pizza.
yeah, the pizza did not treat me well after. So
I was fine with it.
you
Wasn't the
also
best.
have an iron stomach. I just
Sure.
kind of throw whatever. Mine's like a garbage disposal. I throw anything in there.
All right, next
Anyway,
question
how many
is...
decks are you bringing the worlds to play throughout
yes.
the week?
Yes, Brian
Side events.
2.0. Brian from Jank It Up Fuzzball says, how many decks
The
are
better
bringing to
one.
Worlds to play throughout the week? In parentheses for side events. I don't know. Like, I still don't know. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to play in the side events. Like, I don't know if I really feel like putting the thought even into just building a 40-40 deck. Part of me wants to just do pot. Like, at that point on Thursday, my deck is submitted. I don't know. Maybe would just rather do pods, grind tickets, and also just get more reps with the deck that I'm going to play. Like, I don't know. Last year, I tried to, like... I remember me and Joe showed up with these dumb decks, and then everybody was like, practice for Worlds. And then we're like, here's my 5 Battle Droid deck. Like, I actually did really... Last year, I played Talzin FN with Profitable, and that was probably, like, the most fun I've had, because it actually did fairly well in pods. It was, like, consistently 2-1, which I was happy with.
Talzin's great, dude. Great
No,
character.
FN was great.
Talzin. Dude.
I'll be building a Hero Vehicles deck for fun. Aside from my 2 decks to choose from for the
Holdo.
actual event. Yeah, no,
Got
every
it.
time I try to build Holo, I think, why did this character get printed at this cost? Because
Can you guys, like, not let me edit every 5 seconds?
Oh, yeah, sorry, bud.
I've got you, Jack.
Thanks,
I thought we
Flockdaddy.
could agree we could say that word.
Yeah, did
Yeah.
you listen to the last podcast? You guys
We
agreed,
just-
and I was like, I'm still going to edit it out.
Oh, well,
Oh.
no, that's bullshit.
Did he just BS?
Sorry.
I'll bring, like,
Hong
a
Kong,
super...
censor that out, why don't you?
Oh, wizard.
Oh no.
I'll probably bring, like, a super aggro, like, deck for pods. Like, I would bring, like, Maul or Vader or something like that. You know, just so the games end quick. Like, ideally, you get into pods where everybody's like, all right, we're just going to do aggro, and we're going to kill each other quick, and we're going to move on. That way you complete the 3 games as quickly as you can and get your tickets and start the next pod.
So not play games.
I mean, they kind of watch a little bit, but ideally, I mean, like, it was, like, frustrating last year. We were trying to grind through pods, and then people are, like, taking 5 minutes on a decision. It's like, dude, this game literally doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, heaven forbid they want to play a game as opposed to just get tickets.
Dude, pods are all about tickets.
Now that's all PAX Unplugged is going to be, apparently.
Yes, grind for tickets. Yeah. Rest in peace, PAX Unplugged. Rumor that Matt was still saying there might be something, but the official schedule came out, so who knows?
Yeah,
looking
I
good.
mean, yeah, there's been some talk that like Yeti has other things in mind that they can't do because of contract stuff, but
Yeah, which I
Yeah.
don't really know what that means exactly.
Yeah. it's like, oh, so you're running the convention, but you can't run. Are you literally telling like, all right, maybe your contract like you can't run something called a GQ, but are you telling me that you couldn't run more than just pods? Like you couldn't
Yeah.
use that same space for another tournament? Call it the PAX Unplugged Open.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Call it a schmeesional.
Call it a schmeeginal. Like you have space. You clearly have space because you're going to be running pods. You might actually have a lot of space because pods, obviously, like you don't know how many people are going to be coming for that,
Not
The
many.
Schmimptar schmeeginal.
and you're just pods. Just up, give us money. We'll give you. We don't even know what the prizes are.
Yeah. Part of me might still go. I already have my ticket. It's a train ride in, so.
I mean, I could walk there, but I'm not going to play Destiny. I'll go to play SRG Super Show.
I'm
And
saving
I'll win a
my money for
championship
beer.
belt
Is
along
that
with
the
Eldis.
wrestling game?
That's the wrestling game.
Yeah.
Maybe me and Eldis we could be a tag team. and
Eldis
then we
is a
could win
champion,
belts. I think he might have lost the belt. I don't know.
He had
I
it,
haven't
though.
been following the Facebook group. He did have it. He is a champion.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's the current reigning defending.
So to answer, I guess that question is I'll probably have like 3 or 4 decks for pods. I like playing something
Wow.
different each time.
Jack's
but
gonna have
I'm
all
not
of his
gonna do
cards.
40-40. No, that'd be way too much. Though last
Jack's
year,
bring-
I think I brought like 6 decks last year. None of them
Ryan,
were
have
in
you-
contention.
Have you flown with Destiny cards?
No.
Because I have to imagine that like when you fly, you get pulled out of line a lot.
I did.
I'm just saying Brian just in general seems like he would have that
Why
type of
me?
luck where he'd always be the person like, take off your shoes, sir.
That's true.
Yeah, if you fly with Destiny cards, not so much in Philadelphia, but
Sir,
in
you reek
Minnesota.
of alcohol. You can't be here.
In Minnesota, their scanners cannot deal with the cards in normal cardboard boxes. You know, I had it explained to me by like one of their technicians. They're like, look, the reason you keep getting stopped for these things is because on our scanner, they just look like big bricks
bomb.
of organic material.
Yep.
And that's what bombs are made out of.
Yep.
Oh, true.
So it's like, it just looks like
Big
you
true.
have a bunch of maybe
Big
bombs.
true.
But apparently
yeah, we got
Philadelphia,
pulled out.
their stuff is sophisticated enough or it can actually like not do that because I've never had my cards pulled out in Philly, and I've flown out of Philly with
Joe
my
did.
cards at least like 8 times now, and every time I've flown from Minnesota with cards, they've pulled my entire collection out.
Joe got his pulled in Philly last year.
Okay. Well,
But he's
Joe
scheduled.
Was it the cards or the dice?
It's the cards because it's but
Oh,
even
I thought Joe got
non-Destiny
stopped
games.
for his dice though.
That
Yeah.
may be a different thing, but
Because
like,
he had like a box of dice.
non-Destiny games, I've been pulled out because of the cards.
Destiny looks worse because, yes, like all the dice in there make it look like, yeah, a bomb even more so. Because Joe got pulled out and he had all his decks in his backpack, and the lady was like, what the heck is this? And his were like dark colored so you couldn't see into it, so she's like opening them up and just like, what's happening? And Joe was like, no, don't open that way, because he was just watching all the dice getting ready to just like drop on the floor. Luckily that didn't happen because the lady listened, but it was definitely
Yeah, but that's just the type of thing like you're telling me to say, oh, don't open that.
yeah.
Like, sir,
So-
you're risking getting tackled.
yeah.
Oh,
And-
speaking of Joe, Joe texted me
Did he tell you congratulations?
Saturday. Yeah, it's a good job.
Look at
That's
that.
the text I dream about from Joe.
He jinxed
That's
you.
how
man.
you know you made it.
He jinxed you. He's like, oh, he's gonna play mono deck. Flock's winning. I'm like, shut up. Don't say that. That's bad juju.
Yeah, that was funny. It was like I saw like the matchups and I'm like, Falcon's gonna win this, and I'm like,
Hey,
Yeah.
by the way, I just
oh,
wanted
too
to
soon.
give a plug to poor old Joe because Joe has been trying to sell his Destiny cards for about 17 years, and literally, I think once a week I see the same post with Joe just commenting, reduced again.
But it's like half of it's Awakenings, and then it's like the 2-player and some Legacies. Like that goes
He's
for
got
nothing.
he's got like a 14x14 cube of BB-8 die he's trying to sell to people. Like I don't.
I mean, I'd buy
He's
that.
sold most of it. It's just he's down to the stuff that wouldn't have sold even when those cards were legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I looked through it. I was looking at all the dice and the cards. Like this is all garbage. I wouldn't.
Garbage will do.
Garbage will do.
Except
Uh,
for
he's-
that,
You have to remember, Joe bought everything possible. Like Joe we were having the conversation earlier how people like sometimes perceive like Destiny that you need way more cards to play Destiny than you do in comparable other CCGs. Like people in Magic the Gathering and Pokemon are comfortable having like 1 or 2 decks, and they'll just like add and adjust or like retire that deck as new things come out and the game changes. Destiny, people are like, no, I need to have all the cards. If I'm playing Destiny, I own all the cards.
Well, it's Star Wars. I need all the Star Wars cards.
But it's
I don't
like
play.
this-
I don't play Vader, but I want
You need
Vader because it's
Yeah.
Vader.
it's like a weird phenomenon with Destiny where people are like, I gotta have everything. And so that leads to situations where it's like you have this giant collection of 80% stuff you've never put in a deck.
I'm like formidable.
Banana Crapshoot asks, now that Tommy's taking a break, who does GDP have their eye on to fill his spot? Anybody that Chip recruits to his cast, we're going to try and steal. Except
Yep,
for Ray, dude.
just
He's a bum.
retaliatory.
Thunder.
We're going to steal Banana. We're going to get Mended. Inception's a bum. We don't want him.
Whoa.
Inception's programming is faulty.
Uncle Scott.
Uncle Scott. Yeah, every time Uncle Scott pops up, I'm like, who the hell is that again?
Scott?
Oh no, it's Inception. That's right.
Hey, man, you know what? I don't want to get anybody new. I want our team to rise to the occasion. That's what I want.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, no, I don't get free time for the next 4 months.
I'm sleepy. I'm fading as we speak. So
We're going to Las
Like,
Vegas,
you are
Scott.
surprisingly eloquent for how asleep you are.
Yeah, maybe you need
no,
to be
it's
sleeping
fair.
every time.
that's fair.
Maybe you need to not sleep or stop sleeping until like 8 p.m. and then coming on the cast, and you just need to be ready for bed when you're coming on the cast.
I didn't sleep today.
Exactly.
I had tea at work, and so now I'm like I'm dragging, but I'm there. I'm alive.
I've had 6 cups of tea today. If I wanted to, I could fall asleep. If I put my head to the pillow, I'd be asleep in 10 minutes.
What kind of tea do you guys drink?
Just black tea.
I like so
Green
the
Man.
office has English breakfast and then green tea. So I have English breakfast in the morning, and then after I come back from lunch, I have green tea.
I've been drinking like Earl Grey. Tea.
Earl Grey's
It's
good.
Yeah, definitely good.
All right.
Over to
Any
you, Jack.
other Destiny thoughts for you guys? Any parting thoughts on Worlds?
Is
Jeremy,
FFG going to require people to be on stream?
I think
Oh,
FFG will.
conversation
Yes. Not for. I would be shocked if they force people to be on the content creators, but I think FFG has every right to say you're on our stream.
Well,
As
I'm pretty sure last Worlds it was optional.
Well, there's also a difference because like they'll probably do optional during Swiss, but it's like finals and Top Cut.
Yeah,
like,
true.
I'd be
Definitely.
I'd be shocked if they give options for that.
They probably.
But I think they're within the right. And I mean, this was a big contention, right, with this past thing of somebody said they had to be on stream. I don't think a content creator has any right to be like you're disqualified unless you're on our stream, especially because it's like the TO's on the content creation team, and then he's saying you're DQ'd if you're not on our stream. It's a little shady, and that's not to bash them or whatever. Like, you live and learn. They moved on. They understand what was messed up from that. But I think like if a store, right, if we were saying like Tiki Tiki hosted a regional and a Tiki
And
Tiki
Tiki
official
Tiki streams.
stream, yes, like them officially streaming the store, and they say that's fine. But if we come in as Golden Dice and stream there and somebody opts out, I don't think there's anything that we should be able to do that. I think everybody has a right to not do that. But if the store hosting or if the company that made this game who does technically, well, I guess they're hosting, whatever. I was going to say, it's not technically at FFG, but I mean, they're running the event.
Or for instance, like if one of the the opens, like say you got like Nova or Gen Con, and they specifically like contract someone to stream.
Yeah.
So
different.
if it's the venue saying we're going to have streaming, and if you're in our event, you have to participate.
Yeah.
So, but Jack, so like your one you streamed Saturday, like What if like for the finals game, like someone didn't want to go and stream for the finals? You wouldn't stream the finals?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly from content creator, it would stink. And from a personal perspective, I never mind playing on stream or video, so it's hard for me to grasp that. And it's like, you doing that is denying the community a final game, but I understand that people get anxiety and stress and whatever might come with playing in front of a camera and worrying about what people are going to say and critiquing your play and things like that. And
I mean, so
Yeah, forgetting the
in
people
that
how
vein,
muscle,
I think if someone were to have an issue with wanting to be on stream and didn't want to be on stream, maybe the alternative would be like, all right, well, if we don't stream it, would you still be okay with recording it? That way you just still have the gameplay. And then alternatively, it might be a thing where maybe, content creators or people doing the streams, they need to be much more proactive about what's going on in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, normally people let it ride, and then the chat goes crazy about something because the TO's not even really watching the stream, and things get out of hand.
So it may be the case of, the people running a stream may need to have someone like moderating the chat, both from like a chat can be useful for pointing out gameplay things, but then also so that it doesn't get like to the trolley levels that it can get.
Yeah, and I'll say for Kappa, I plan like this. We'll be streaming that, right? That's the weekend afterwards.
Yeah,
and I plan to be monitoring the stream generally, and then if there's a judge call, of course I'll go and deal with that. But I'll generally be trying to watch the stream and help correct players because, nobody wants a match to be spoiled on stream because somebody made a mistake and then Twitch blew up about it, and people can get nasty.
It's always better to catch things than not catch things.
Yeah, definitely. And not to dismiss like any other table, like even if it's table 2, like I'm not saying a lower table, like people are much more outraged at a mistake that happens on stream because everybody can see it than if something happens at table 2.
Well, because there's 100% proof that it exists.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can see the exact context in which it went down as opposed to it being reconstructed after. And it's just the type of thing, like if you were a judge and you were walking past a table and you saw something go down, no matter what table it was, you would have an obligation to be like, stop, that's not how this goes, do this instead. So, I mean, the stream game, looking at it through the stream is no different.
Yeah, and even the tournament rules said you could issue more points for games being a stream. I don't know if I'm going to take that approach, but like FFG has set the ground rules of, allowing judges to be more strict with on people playing on stream. So, and that, that could be a reason too for players to be like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like, you don't want to, FFG doesn't want to be embarrassed on stream. And I think that was more for poor behavior, not so much like gameplay stuff, but the extracurriculars on sportsmanlike stuff. That's where I think why FFG kind of wrote that in.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, because that would be more of a problem than anything else. I just think in even FFG's case, or if a venue's running it, the biggest thing would need to be, and this has been said a bunch of times, announce it ahead of time. That way people can decide if they want to come to that event. If they know that, like, hey, you might be selected to be on stream, the only ability you have to opt out would be to forfeit that game. Like, they know that going in, because if you announce it while people are already there, it's kind of like a bait and switch situation.
Yeah.
Love that card.
They don't have like that same, they don't have that. They're not in that position. They've already driven there. They've already taken that day out of their time, so they're kind of like stuck.
Yeah, it needs to be it needs to be made clear before people even show up to that event.
And that type of thing would get rid of all of, because some people have brought up like privacy concerns and whatnot. Like, generally speaking, we're talking about public accommodations. They're private businesses, so the business has the ability to say what they do or don't want going on in their store as far as like recording.
Yep.
You don't have that same reason. You don't have a reasonable expectation of privacy in a public business that says, hey, we're going to be recording.
Yep. And that's that. We solved the issue. Look at that.
I have something to add about Worlds.
Oh,
Go,
Brian.
Do it.
Jeremy, if you're listening, I have special money saved away.
Yeah.
Excuse me. To buy you a drink. First one's on me.
DJ, that's really cool.
That's I love that story. So the first time I met Jeremy, right? And I was playing DJ Snoke last year at Nova. And he busts out his deck of like spoilers and stuff that's like definitely it smacked me real hard. But I pull out my deck and I play through the game and I just get smacked down. And like I was like, all right, cool, good game. Really a big fan of what you do, blah blah blah. And he's like,
Yeah, TJ. It's pretty cool. I haven't seen him in a while.
I'll definitely buy Matt Holland and Jeremy a drink if they're at the meetup.
Oh yeah, Matt Holland too. You get a shot.
I don't
I'm gonna do a
think
shot with Matt Holland.
I don't think either of them will be buying a drink if they're the case that they're especially not to dismiss Jeremy, but like just the impact Matt has had on the community. Like, you know, he's been much more of the face, and I'd be shocked if he buys a drink that night. But he also said it's a crazy week, so he might need to be home with his family and kid and stuff. So
I mean, to be fair, if I was FFG, I would be telling both of them, do not drink with the players.
Jeremy did last year.
I know I'm just saying from the standpoint of that is the way that something gets said that shouldn't be said, and then brah.
Yeah. But all right, guys, we're gonna wrap up here. We're just over an hour and a half. Flockdaddy, I'm gonna give you the final word.
Wait, what?
You get to sign us off.
Hong Kong.
All right. Well, my name's Mr. Chit, and you were listening to Discard the Reroll. Wait, wrong show?
It's like SOLOSOLOSOLO. Living my life ain't got stress no more. I'm putting on my shades to cover up my eyes. I'm jumping in my ride. I'm heading out tonight. I'm solo. I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo. Solo. Feeling like a star.